Good morning, fellow traders. It's Black Coffee Trader. It is Monday, June the 2nd. Welcome to the month of June. I am happy to see the calendar flip a page myself, and hopefully we can get back on some green trading in these markets. So let's dive in today to the daily trade plan and what I'm seeing in the markets this morning. And again, this is just an accountability thing for me that I like to do, to create some accountability for my own trade plan. And it just really has helped me to look at the markets in a much clearer perspective, to spend these times in the mornings to analyze what I'm seeing and then just share that publicly with you guys. So we're going to start with the ES chart this morning. I think that's the big one. This big daily 200 moving average on the ES futures has definitely been a big level for quite some time. It's been a key area to watch really almost for the last couple of weeks. I mean, obviously this has moved some, but this is where it's been sitting right around this 5,900 area for a good week-ish. And as of this morning, we're bouncing right into that in the pre-market. So we have a level here around the 58.95s, 58.94s. I've had that for quite some time, and we've seen a lot of bounces off that level. On Friday, we did fall below that and kind of bounced around in here in the pre-market. We've dipped down into the 58.60s, 58.70s. So the trades that I'm looking at today, and really I think this is one of the key areas, is what is the market going to do with the ES, this big level on ES. So I'm not really interested to look to long into this chop area that we have really between the 59.25s and this daily 200. So if we get above that, you could say, well, let's take a pullback long into these areas. I don't want to do it because of this. However, I am interested in longs if we get above this major area right here around the 59.25. So if we get above the 59.25s or this purple line, which is Friday's high, if we get above that area, I'll be looking to set up some longs. And really on any of these levels I've got charted out here above, if we get pullback, break and retest longs, I will definitely be looking to take those today. On the downside, if we lose this level here this morning, it looks right now like we've got some strength, but again, this is pre-market. And if we lose this level, look at the big flip we had. Here we have a hold of this level back here in the middle of May the 19th. You know, we have a supply here hold pushing higher. We reject this around the 22nd of May, and we're falling below this several times, and we flipped this basically support, rejection, turn to support, and we've kind of chopped through this over the last day or so, and now this has got some strength. So if this pushes again, if this pushes through, we're going to just let it ride until we get above here to where we know we have some strength. We get out of this chop range, and then we look to take longs to the upside. If this rejects, or if we get up in here, you know, in the middle of this noise, if you will, and we get a rejection and we get a break and retest back below this, then we'll be looking to take shorts. That's why I've got this red arrow marked. We'll be looking to take shorts down into Friday's low. If we fall below that, now we get into the daily 20 and we get into the daily 100. And if we see that, we'll also be looking for shorts down below that as well. I'm really not looking to long up into this, so it's pretty clear to me today the way I'm going to attack the NASDAQ or the ES futures is if we're above the daily 200 moving average and we get into these levels, we're looking for longs to the upside. If we're below these areas, we're looking for shorts to the downside. If we get moves down here, I'm not really looking to long back into the 200. And if we get rejections up here, I'm not looking to short into the 200. I just don't think, if you look at the way this market has reacted over the last, couple of weeks here, it's just, to me, what I'm seeing, I'm just not comfortable with it. So we're either going to play, if we're below 200, we're looking for shorts down. If we're above 200, we're looking for longs to the upside. And that's the plan for me today. Moving to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, interesting. We're sitting above all the daily moving averages right now. We got the daily 20 is sitting right here around the 21,000s almost. We've got the Daily 200 is sitting down here around the 20,830s. The daily 100 is around the 600s. And so where's the daily 50? The daily 50 is actually all the way down here to the 882s. It's not really in play. So we're above all of those big daily moving averages. So here's the thing. If you look at this, you could almost make the case, I can't really show this, really from the high of day on Friday, which is right here around the 427s, from the 420s all the way down here to about the 150s, is really, this has been a lot of sideways up down chop and not any good continuation. However, there's a lot of opportunity on the NASDAQ to make some money on some of these shorter moves. So you can see how I've got these arrows charted marked here. We've got this big area around the 21,225. We've got another pretty clear level here around the 21,150s. And then we also have one around the 21,300s. So I'm basically looking for short little moves into these next levels if we get them. Yes, I'm longing for, like, for example, if we get a pullback down here to the 21,160s, 150s, we're looking for longs to, these next couple of levels. If we get a break and hold above 300, we're going to look to long into the high of day from Friday. And while that is a small little move on the big chart here, it really is, from the 310s to the 420s, that's 100 points. So there's some money to be made in the market. Yes, you're longing into some of this noise. However, for this to happen, we're also going to be above the daily 200, that moving average on the ES future. So that gives me confidence to take that long if it sets up. So we are going to look at taking some of these longs from some of these levels if we do get those today. Obviously, anything above here, I'm definitely bullish on that. We're looking for break and retest above there. If we fall below this 220 area, we're looking to take shorts, and again, obviously being pretty heavy on some short setups if we fall below. I am looking, though, if we get a pullback down here to this major area around the 150s, if we get a pullback to there, I would take the long again, because there's a little move here on the NASDAQ, 70 points. You can make some money on the NASDAQ on that little move. So we would be looking for that. But I think that, again, the big driver is what do we do? What is the market doing on ES with this big daily moving average, which has been in play for quite some time? And we'll play off of that today. So maybe a little bit risky on some of these that I might take today if we get them. Break and retest of the 300. Longs off of that. The highs of day, I'm not, those are pretty clean setups above here. But this long is a little bit questionable, but it's worth taking a shot, keeping the risk pretty tight. And again, taking the short here around the 200s if that happens, or longing this pre-market low or the overnight low around the 160s. Or the 150s. If we get that, we definitely take that. So keeping our eyes open, but that's the areas I'll be looking at on the NASDAQ. I'm going to go to the Dow, and I'm going to finish with gold today. So on the Dow Jones, I really just took a very conservative approach. Again, there's a lot of chop, but there is a very clean, defined 42,175. I did not mark a trade off of it. And I still think I'm gonna leave the levels I set this morning. If we get above this area and we flip this 42,337 into a support, we'll be looking to take longs into the high of day from Friday, and also taking longs above the high of day on Friday, kind of up into these levels. And if we fall, we're going to need to fall below the low of days from Friday and these overnight lows, or down here to the 41,900s for me to take short. So basically what I'm looking at is this area from the 330s down to the 41,960s. I'm really just not looking to trade, because if we get something in that area, I'm going to have a setup on the NASDAQ, or I'm going to have a setup on ES, likely for me to take that. So I'm going to just sit and watch. But if we get outside of that, and we get these outlier long setups here, I'll be looking for that, or short setups, I'll be looking for that as well. Wrapping up with gold here this morning. Gold, I made some adjustments. If you followed along, I've had a kind of a band, a green band, if you will, down here about the 3,300s down to the 33 3290s. I've had a little short little band here, kind of from these lows coming in here back in April. I did adjust this a little bit over the last week or so. This area right around the 3310s has really been a strong level of support, and we've also seen this area around the 3350s come into play. Here we have this as support, flip, rejection, and again, this morning we're looking, if we get a pullback to that level, we'd be looking to take a long up into these highs around the 3392s. And I also adjusted this level that I previously had set here around the 3290s. I did move this down to the 3285s because of these levels here. Pretty clear holds here. And so we also have a bit of a reaction to that level right here on last Thursday, I believe that was. So if we get moves down below the Friday lows and below these 3310s, we'll look to take shorts down into this. And if we get low or something below the 3280s, we'll be looking to take some shorts there. And I'm going to stay out of this area, this kind of chop area. But if we get pullbacks here to this area, we'll be looking to take longs. And again, if we do get a rejection right here this morning off this big area, excuse me, the 3390s, I would potentially look to take a short off of that as well. So kind of made a little bit of an adjustment here because what I was seeing is, even though I had a pretty big clear area on the bigger time frames, maybe on gold, I wasn't getting into the trades here and wasn't taking advantage of some of these that I probably could have, and maybe making some adjustments to these levels and adding this one right in here, which is pretty clear, pretty easy to see. Gives us something to maybe take a trade off of. Again, I want to be careful. I want to make sure that we get a very good setup. We have our risk in place to where if we're wrong, we get out of the trade and we don't let it run against us in a big way. And it's something I really want to focus on here in the month of June, is not letting trades just continue to run and take a big loss if I can help it. So we want to keep our risk in perspective, take good, strong setups, and get out if we're wrong and allow the trade to run if we're right. So that's the goal today. So again, big thing today, I still think, is what is the market going to do with this daily 200 on the ES and the 58.95s on the ES? What happens there? That would line up very much with the 21,300 on the NASDAQ, also the 21,230 on the NASDAQ. I think that's kind of the area. Where do we go from there? That kind of sets up the day. So we'll see here in a couple of hours. It's a little bit after 7:30, actually about quarter till 8. And so we've got a couple of hours here till market open, and we'll see where this thing shakes out. And hopefully we can put together a good, strong start to the month of June. That is the goal. So, all right, I'll leave you with that. Take care. Have a good trading day. Take care. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care and so long.